Hey guys, is it really, really loud in the background, or can you hear me okay? I brought my laptop to go live today. There's a lot of background noise. So comment and let me know if you can hear me okay or not. And if you can't, then I'm going to have to move and or go out to my car. We'll see. So I'll wait a few minutes for messages to come through because sometimes they take a while to come in. It shows that there's 3 people here. Hello, 3 people. I don't know who you 3 people are. Tell me who you are. What your weather's like right now wherever you are. It is 34 degrees here. I don't know if you can hear me. Somebody let me know if you can hear me or if the background noise is too much. Top chat. That's why. Live chat might be a little bit better. Hi, Risa. Can you hear me okay? Am I too loud? Is the background too loud? Because it's way louder in here than I thought it was going to be. Hi, Jennifer. Somebody tell me, is the background noise too loud? I'm waiting. I'm watching to see. If I need to move, then I will move. I'm still watching to see. Do I need to move? Hi, Uncle Big Guy. I'm looking at the invoice price on this file. Okay. No, Italian gone carnivore. Hello. Can you guys hear me? Seriously, can you hear me? Because if you can't hear me, I will move. Okay, I was so worried. There's 7 other people in here. Yes. Okay. Fantastic. And then the music is going, and I'm going, oh, I think this is going to be awful. Okay, good. We're good. There's a delay in the very hard to hear. Okay, so I can leave. I can try to go somewhere else in here. And I tried to connect my earbuds, and it wouldn't. It wouldn't give me the option to go through my earbuds. Let me see if there's a way for me to. That's mute. I don't want mute. Nope, that's not what I want. Oh, okay, cancel. Discard changes. That's okay. So I've got 2 you can hear me's, and I've got 1 very hard to hear. Hi, Patty B. Okay, I'm just going to talk. I just moved closer to my computer. If it gets really bad, let me know, and I will. Okay, cool, Melanie. So she can hear me fine. Wonderful. So for those who can't hear me, I'm sorry. Maybe the replay will be a little bit better. I moved closer to my computer. I'm just gonna. I brought my computer because I was like, oh, then I can be hands-free, and I'll put on my earbuds, and it'll be fine, and it won't connect to my earbuds. So I'm like have myself in the corner trying to like block out the rest of the noise. Anyways, I got test results, guys. I'm so sorry. It's been a while since I have been live. I've been waiting on test results to figure out what's going on. And of course, living my best life, being extremely busy on the farm and with the kids and everything. So I am finally out running errands and figured I would do an update. I'm at Starbucks, but I brought my own coffee cup because I love this coffee cup. Isn't that adorable? I got it at a thrift store for $1.99, and on the bottom it says it came from World Market. So I love my coffee cup. Plus, the cups that you get from Starbucks, they are plastic lined, so within 15 minutes you have a ton of microplastics in your drink. In case you're worried about that, you can bring something else. I have my Yeti as well. But it was 1,002 degrees, so I put it in the ceramic so it could cool off a little bit more. I may take off my coat. I may not. I may have a hot flash. So we'll see if I need to take off my coat. It's getting a little spicy. Okay. So I got an ALCAT done, which is a food sensitivity test. And they only did like 50. They only tested 50 common foods. Honestly, if I could do it again, I would probably do the 200 just because I'm really curious to know what it would be. But of the stuff that they tested, on my moderate, I have gluten, pollock, which is the type of white fish, rice, brown and white, soybean, and tomato. Very interesting. On the severe, I have gliadin, which is the other part of wheat. So there's like gluten and then there's gliadin. So yes, I react to gluten, but I actually have a much more severe reaction to gliadin. And I have not had it I haven't had anything wheat in quite a while. So for me to react so strongly, not fantastic. On the mild, I have apple, banana, cabbage, egg whites, green pea, lamb, onion, orange, pear, white potato, and yellow squash. And you go to the next page. There's some other friends. Hi, Neely. How are you? I'm finally going over my results. No. Next page. Sorry. Next page. The next page, mild reaction to aspartame, brilliant black. That's a thing. Brilliant black is a thing. Erythritol, which is, all the keto sweeteners are using erythritol, and it's a yeah, I'm reactive to it. High fructose corn syrup, polysorbate 80, red 4, red 40, beta carotene, and soy lecithin, which makes sense because soy was on my list. And then for moderate, I have red 2 and 3. The guy my doctor who I went through, he goes, honestly, there's nothing in the food colorings and additives and environmental chemicals that I would say is okay. Just there's none of it because it's all, the crazy colors and things like that. I agree with him. We avoid the artificial dyes as much as possible. But so that's the food one. I got that one. I also got a full blood panel workup, and I got my hormones done. Unfortunately, it took me going back again to get my hormones done. There's a really funny story behind that. So a couple of weird things came up on my regular blood panel, although the numbers that you guys are going to care about, the ones that you're going to be excited about. My LDL is 123. My VLDL is 8. My HDL is 104, and my triglycerides are 48. Figured you guys would be happy about that one. But there are some weird things on here. There are definitely some weird things on here. And my vitamin D level was 65. So there you go. Let me see. There was something else. Did they do? There was a couple of things that they didn't do, which I didn't think about asking for because I haven't had it done in so long that I didn't even think about it. So I know it's a very interesting list, right? That was only 50 items. So I'm like, what if you had done 200? Anyways, so my hormone panel. Hi, Marina. My hormone panel. This was like the whole reason that I went to the doctor, trying to figure out what is going on with me. Because 2 years ago, I kind of started on this journey and I started doing testing with a functional practitioner. We got some numbers. I had very, very high estrogen. The rest of my hormones were okay, like all fairly in the normal range, but my estrogen was extremely high 2 years ago. Just got everything done. And I am post-menopausal on almost everything. Yeah. So just for a little bit of history for those who don't know, I had a partial hysterectomy when I gave birth to my 4th child almost 9 years ago. She's almost 9, 8 years and 9 months or something like that. We had quite the episode. It was a very dramatic birth. If you haven't seen that story, I believe we tell the story in the video entitled "My Daughter Saved My Life." So if you want to catch all of that, that's where it is. But I did have a partial hysterectomy almost 9 years ago. So there is a chance, an increased chance for me to go through menopause early because of that. I do still have both of my ovaries, but so everything is very interesting. My testosterone is 3, and the reference range is 4 to 50. Let me see. My FSH is 114. Postmenopausal range is 25 to 134. My prolactin was normal. My progesterone, so the postmenopausal range for progesterone is 0 to 0.1. I'm at 0.2. So I'm like just outside the postmenopausal range. Yeah. Then I have my free androgen index. That is so hard to say. Free androgen index. I say it wrong every time. That one was fairly low as well. That one was 0.1, and the reference range is 0.4 to 8.4. Then my estradiol is less than 5. Postmenopausal range is anything less than 6 to 54.7. And then my estrogens are 69, and the range honestly goes anywhere from 16 to 501. But the postmenopausal range is 40 to 244, so it's a huge range. Yeah. So that explains why I've been having these strange hot flashes. I cannot tell you how relieved I was to figure out that it wasn't mold. That's not it. It's not mold. It's not because of anything like that. I needed to know because I did a mold test in the house and it didn't come up with anything, but I was still really worried. So went and got my hormone panel done, found out that I am postmenopausal, and I have pretty much gone through menopause in about 6 months. Because I don't have a cycle, there's no way for us to really know what I was doing. But 2 years ago, April of 22, my estrogen and my other hormone levels were all really good. They were high. They were doing fine, and now they are very much not fine. So that explains a lot of the hot flashes. However, through this testing, I got some really interesting rabbit holes to go down. There's been quite a few of them. So one of the things that I got with my regular blood work, she did an iron panel. And in this iron in the iron panel, and this is too funny, Neely and I have already talked about it. We're going to get together on a retreat somewhere and I'm going to share. Because my serum iron is at 121, which is high, because the reference range is 71 to 115. My ferritin is 187, and the reference range is 45 to 110. So there's some interesting things in that. I was looking through my results, and they said possible hemochromatosis. And I was like, what? Possible hemochromatosis? There's no way, because I have never been able to donate blood. Every time I go to donate blood, they check my hemoglobin and they always tell me my iron is too low. I can't donate blood. And then they even told me things like you need to eat a really heavy red meat meal the night before, eat an apple, do all these things to try to get my hemoglobin up so that I could donate blood. I was never able to do it. So what changed? Because literally up until this is the first time, I just donated blood a week ago for the first time ever. And that's what it took. What did it take? I don't know. Could be age, could be a change of things. I haven't, and some people said, well, maybe it's because you don't have a cycle anymore. I haven't had a cycle in 15 years. And 5 years ago, I couldn't donate blood because my hemoglobin was too low. But I did have a full transfusion when I had my last daughter. When I gave birth to Bella, I received 10 units of blood. So it makes you wonder, was there something that changed, something that triggered, or was it simply that because I haven't had a cycle for 15 years, it's very slowly been adding up, building up? I don't know. A whole lot of I don't knows. But interestingly, the side effects and the symptoms of high iron are very similar to the symptoms of low iron. So, unfortunately, you can't just go off of your symptoms. It's things like being extremely tired, funny, irregular heartbeats, heart palpitations, things like that. Muscle weakness is actually one of the bigger ones for excess iron and excess ferritin. So, while I was doing some research, I was looking into a low nickel diet. I was still waiting on things to kind of figure out. I hadn't got my hormone panel yet. So I started looking into a low nickel diet because I discovered nickel in your diet can actually affect you just as much as fake cheap jewelry or your buckle, your pant snap, anything like that. If you are sensitive to those types of things, you can actually be sensitive to metals inside of your body as well. So it was actually Blaze, who's usually on these lives. She mentioned something about, could it be nickel? Could it be something that she asked me, do I have sensitive ears whenever I wear jewelry? Do they kind of break out? And I was like, actually, yeah. And even my wedding ring, which is white gold, a couple years ago had a rash underneath it. And that's because of the nickel content in the gold. So I was like, that must be it. That's got to be it. So I started diving down that rabbit hole. And there is a YouTube channel called, it's actually a podcast as well, Heavily Meddled. And the gal that does it has an incredible story. So if you want to hear her story, I will not take away from her telling of it. But the premise is that we can be sensitive to metals internally, which makes total and complete sense. There's a lot of doctors that tell you, any metal that we put inside your body, it's going to be, it's inert, it's non-reactive, even like titanium, it's inert, it's not going to bother you, you're fine. We're finding out that is not the case. So that's one of the reasons that I really thought it was my issue, because a lot of the foods that I was having issues with were high nickel foods. Things like chocolate or nuts and seeds, or there's a whole list of all kinds of things. Anything that's canned, drinking out of a stainless steel water bottle, cooking in stainless steel pans can actually put nickel into your food. And when you have routine operations done, they leave metal clips inside of your body that you don't know about. Hysterectomies are one of them. They're like little staples, and they leave them inside of your body. Well, they don't ever ask you, do you have a sensitivity to jewelry before they do this? Because almost all of those things have some form of metal in them. Maybe not necessarily nickel, but they may have iron or aluminum, or there's several other things that they could be. Even the contrast, when you go to get like a CT scan, if they do a contrast, that actually has metal in it. And so some people have horrid reactions to that. It's fascinating to dive into. So I was like, that must be my problem. So I went on a low nickel diet. I was like, I'm going to try anything. I was so desperate. I'm going to try anything. So I went on a low nickel diet. I stopped using stainless steel pans. I bought a low nickel cookbook. And there were several of them out there that focus highly on grains and wheat, because wheat is low in nickel as long as it's white wheat, white flour, not whole grains. You have to get So I kept searching until I found one, and the gal who wrote it, I did not bring the book. I totally didn't think about it, but it's called The Low Nickel Diet. It is a beautiful blue book. I need to look up her name. But it's in my Amazon store. I actually linked, I created a list that says low nickel so that you can look at it and you can kind of go in there and see, you can find the book. I'm going to look it up right now because I want to make sure to tell you guys what that book is. And I can show it to you because I have my phone right here. Here it is. Okay, The Low Nickel Diet and Cookbook. Can I zoom in? I can't zoom in. That's okay. So that's it. That blue one. By Laura. Oh, I can't see. Durzette? Is that what it is? I can't see it. Duzette by Laura Duzette. She is a big fan of the carnivore diet. So that's when I was like, okay, you are my people. We can talk now. I bought her book and I'm reading this book and I got it and I've already implemented it. It's been almost 2 weeks and I've already implemented all the low nickel things and I'm not feeling better. I'm actually feeling a little bit worse. So I was like, okay, I'm not sure what to do, but continue. Maybe I'm just detoxing or something. So I'm just going to hang on. So I'm reading this book. Get to in the 40s, I think. What page I was on, it was in the 40s. And it says the best cookware to use is cast iron because iron chelates nickel. And I went, oh, nickel's probably not my problem then because I am overflowing with iron. I have so much iron in my system. Well, that explains why all of a sudden I feel worse. So then I had a thought, you know what? Maybe I'm going to flip it. And I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to go on a low iron diet and a high nickel diet. We'll see what this does. So I stopped cooking on cast iron. I stopped eating red meat. I go back to my green leafy vegetable salads. I love a big salad. Like I love a big salad with my own homemade dressing, which I actually brought with me, that has balsamic vinegar because that's high in nickel as well. And I'll put some cashews. No, not cashews. Cashews, can't do cashews. Pecans and walnuts on top of it. These types of things, little things. Do that for about 3 days. Every single day, every single night. My hot flash episodes are getting further and further apart. My joint pain is going down. I'm losing weight. Okay. So then I start to do more research on the whole iron bit of it. I find this doctor on YouTube. I'll have to link it down below after the show. Who his theory is, and he also is like not anti-carnivore. He's all good with carnivore too. His theory is that anyone that has a ferritin over 100, it's not a good thing. And he said a lot of people, for example, I got test results 2 years ago, and my ferritin was like 280 then, 287. And that's when I was feeling the worst. I had the worst chronic pain, like nothing felt good. I felt horrible. That's what my ferritin was. Well, what I was told is, well, if you have high ferritin, it just means you have inflammation. Totally true. However, this doctor's theory is that the high ferritin is actually causing inflammation. Huh. Interesting. Excuse me. So, of course, I start looking into high ferritin and a carnivore diet, high iron and a carnivore diet. So I came across Paul Saladino put out a video about 11 months ago. You know, we know he went back to honey and he went back to fruit because he could not balance his electrolytes and he could not get rid of the horrific muscle cramps, the leg cramps that he was having. I was having the same issue. I couldn't get rid of them, which is why I had to go back to some carbs because I cannot balance my electrolytes. I just can't. I was starting to get heart palpitations, all these issues. So so I'm watching this video. So he goes back to honey and fruit. Well, 11 months ago, he posted a video about high iron levels on a carnivore diet. He has high ferritin levels and high iron levels that he cannot get rid of. So what is he doing? Once a week, he's giving himself a phlebotomy. What are the rest of us supposed to do? I can't do that. And he says he feeds it to his plants, which is why his plants are like nice and happy and healthy now. Fantastic. I can't do that. I cannot go give myself a phlebotomy to make myself feel better, to lower my iron and my ferritin levels. So now it's like, okay, I have to figure out what to do. So for the first time ever, I was able to go to the Red Cross and donate blood. For the first time ever, my hemoglobin was 14.4, which is perfectly good. The range, I think the reference range went up to like 15. So I was already very high. I had been low iron for nearly 3 weeks at that point in time. And my hemoglobin was still that high. My hemoglobin was actually higher when I went to go donate blood than when I got my test results. So when I got my test results, it was 13.5, and this one was 14.4. So absolutely fascinating. When I donated blood, they said it should reduce my ferritin by about 50 points, which brings me down to like 130, something like that. I'm going to repeat the donation as soon as I can, which is May 10th, I believe, is the soonest that I can go donate again. So I'm kind of following this low iron thing to see how I do, how I feel. Then if I can get rid of the hot flashes completely, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start going back to high iron foods. I'm going to do a whole bunch of beef. I'm going to see what happens and do low nickel again and see what happens. If I have any negative side effects, any reactions, because on my food sensitivity panel, I was fine with beef. So I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to try it. As of right now, I am taking some supplements for the hot flashes for menopause through my functional doctor, who I am seeing it's a local doctor here in town. And so it's herbs and things like that I am taking. Mitacor is one of them. There's like Estrodim, there's a couple other ones, some B vitamins, vitamin E, things like that. I take probably like 10 capsules a day of some kind or another. Like, oh, I've reached that age. I'm like, I turned into my parents. I'm taking all these things. So they seem to be helping. I could not tell you, is it the supplements that I'm taking? Is it the low iron foods that I'm eating? Is it, I don't know. I really don't know because I'm doing so many things, but I don't care because I didn't sleep for like 7 months without being woken up anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours. And in Dr. Boz's brains course, because I went to Pella, Iowa, when she did her course a couple of years ago, went to that fantastic presentation, completely fascinating. She talks about this process that goes through your brain at about 6 hours, consecutive 6 hours in sleep. It's like a dishwasher. So it rinses out your brain and it gets rid of all this matter and debris that doesn't need to be in there. If you do not sleep for 6 hours in a row, you don't get your brain dishwashed. As funny as that sounds. It causes all kinds of issues with mental clarity and things like that. So I was absolutely desperate to sleep and figure out what was going on. How am I actually going to be able to sleep? Spam text all day, every day. It's insane. So that is what is going on with me right now. So I am not doing anything. Oh, I did mess up a couple weeks ago. A week ago? Something like that. I accidentally had pepperoni because I had, it's a cheese stick wrapped in turkey. And then I have my homemade mayonnaise on it. And I put pepperoni on it. Pepperoni has beef and pork in it, which are both. Pork has like a third of the iron that beef does, but beef, of course, has high iron. That night was awful. It was absolutely awful. I was up every 20 minutes that night. I mean, I barely slept. So I don't know if that's what it was or if it was something else. I truly don't know because I have not been trying to repeat these experiments right now. Right now, I just want to get some relief. So I'm able to get probably 3 times a week, 6 consecutive hours of sleep. so that I can actually wash my brain and do better during the day. Definitely kind of feeling some of the other menopausal symptoms that come with it. Mood swings aren't too bad, but they're definitely increasing a little bit more than they used to. But is that because I'm not sleeping? There could be that too. It's hard to know. So that's what's going on with me. I am so looking forward to spring coming, spring, summer, and fall, where I can be back outside and I can start foraging again and creating my own teas and tinctures and oil blends, all that kind of stuff. But for now, I'm just going to stick with this. As soon as I have the hot flashes under control and they are getting much better than they used to be, then I will start my high iron experiment to see what happens. I'll probably get a blood test before I do that. I'm going to get my hot flashes under control, stay on the low iron and everything, and then I will get another blood test to see what my levels are at, get another iron panel, and then probably do a little bit of experimenting to see what happens and how I feel. I do miss the red meat, but I've honestly never done super great on red meat. I just never have. I've always done better on birds. My doctor actually told me, he's like, you might want to get checked for alpha gal. I think I got the alpha gal panel done and it was negative. So that wasn't it a little while ago. But yeah, it's been very interesting. Risa says I try and sleep at least 6 hours, but it doesn't always happen. As the dogs wake me up about 3 hours in, I have been trying for, I don't know, I can't see, there's something in the way, systemic products for focus, and it's helping a little. Yeah, sleep is so important. It's crazy. Another fascinating point I've discovered, if I wake up, say at 5 o'clock in the morning, which I do several days a week because I have to. If I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'll weigh myself. On the days that I am able to go back to sleep until, say, 8 o'clock, I will lose anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds from 5 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock in the morning, simply because I got some more sleep. It is absolutely incredible. So one of the things that I have noticed is that my mental clarity has been so much better. I don't stumble over my words nearly as much as when I'm really struggling and having a hard time. When my pain is a lot higher, I tend to stumble over my words and I cannot find the right word to put in the sentence to make it coherent. And I haven't suffered from that in the past probably month, which has been absolutely fantastic. Hi, Blaze. I was talking about you a little bit ago. So it's been all very fascinating, and I'm excited to see what happens. I am just going to stick with what I'm doing right now for a couple of months, see what changes come, and then we're going to go from there. So until then, Neely and I were just going to go on a desert island somewhere, and I'm going to share all the iron that I have so she can have as much of my iron as she wants, because how crazy is it that the two of us can be so completely opposite? We can eat exactly the same thing, and yet we are complete polar opposites when it comes to our iron and our ferritin levels. I wish that diet was everything. I cannot tell you how much I wish the diet and supplements and the things that we put in our bodies were the answer to everything. But they really, truly aren't. Because we're such individuals, we've had so many different things happen to us in our lives, that actually has a huge impact on how we react and what our bodies are going through. But anyways, I've been on for 30 minutes, so I'm going to let you guys go. It got quieter and it's getting louder again, so I'm going to go. I have some errands to run, and I'll keep you guys updated. I'm really, really hoping to be more consistent with the videos. We're still just so busy, and I'm hoping once I'm outside, I'll actually be better at recording videos and then get back into editing and things like that because I still don't have great signal out in my house. So I love you guys. And I hope you enjoyed the update. Go check out my Amazon store. I put a couple of new lists in there. The low nickel is in there, so you can learn all about that, all about the things. The book was, hey, and she's pro carnivore. So that's one thing. And then also, I made a new list for all of the herbs that I have purchased in 2023. There is a substantial list in there. And even the books that can tell you what to do with those herbs and how to make your own, say, like tinctures and oils and things like that. So I put both of those in there. And I will do a whole lot more with the herbs and the tinctures and things like that. I just need to start. I really just need to get to it. So I'm so glad that you guys could stop in and check out today what is going on in the world of Amy. And I will keep you guys updated. So I love you guys. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you guys later.